attended the Masters of Aesthetics meeting in San Diego, and the conference just ended. So I wanted to go live with you and kind of talk about some of the things that were discussed at this meeting, because I always like to keep you guys in the know. And this is a conference where it's only medical doctors, so only MDs, and I think like 98% of the attendees were dermatologists, and the rest were like oculoplastics and plastic surgeons. So it's really a meeting of like world-renowned experts talking about aesthetics and cosmetic dermatology and some of the new technologies that are coming down the pipeline. So I love keeping you guys in the know. I love being the liaison between like the protected medical community, where a lot of inside information is discussed, but I can't always live stream or bring my phone into the meeting conference, because I've been known to get into trouble too when I try to post videos or try to post pictures when the speakers are speaking live. And I gave a lecture as well, which was really, really a huge honor for me. But while it's fresh in my mind, I wanted to go live and just kind of tell you guys what some of the like key findings and new technologies are that they're talking about. And it's such a fun, rapidly evolving field, and such a fast evolving field, that I just like to keep you guys in the know. So I'll do a whole YouTube video kind of describing the pearls that I took away from this meeting and different topics that were discussed. But I just also wanted to go live really quick with you guys. We're in San Diego. Justin's right here. We're packing up, and he's mad at me because we're supposed to meet our friends for dinner. So I probably will only be able to be on for a couple minutes, but I wanted to do it while it was fresh in my mind. So now what I'm trying to do is figure out how I can see your questions. Let's see if you guys have any questions. I think that they'll pop up. Okay, this is so fun. Okay, this is actually a lot easier than when I live stream with my actual camera, because it's such a pain sometimes to set up, but at least I can see all of your questions right now. So I saw that you guys have asked some questions, but now I can't see. Oh, somebody said, oh yeah, what are your key takeaways from today? So I think that the main take-home point and the main take-home message was, I think we're getting back to skin. And when I say we, I mean plastic surgeons, oculoplastics, injectors, cosmetic dermatologists, and all aesthetic providers, because I think we went through this era of like, filler fatigue, and like filler being like the end all be all, answer to skin laxity, fine lines and wrinkles, non-dynamic rhytids, things like that, where like, I feel like, especially where I live and my practices in Orange County, there's like all this filler being done, and we kind of got away from lasers, tightening devices, chemical peels, medical grade skincare products that help the texture of our skin. So the answer to like facial laxity or like nasolabial folds or tear troughs isn't to do a bunch of filler. It's to tighten the skin and to improve the quality of the skin. And that's where lasers and tightening devices come in. That's where chemical peels comes in. That's where medical grade skincare products, which has really taken a bump in the technology and innovation. And what we do at home now, I mean, things like exosomes and things like that we can put on our skin to make our skin texture better, we didn't have before. And the technology is getting so good in the skincare industry that what we do home now is making a big impactful difference on like our overall skin health. And we're also noticing that surgery doesn't fix everything. You can have a full-on, facelift, neck lift, brow lift, but if your skin texture and quality is poor, then the skin is still going to look weather beaten, and it's going to look ruddy, and you're still not going to look have a very youthful, rejuvenated look. So even plastic surgeons now are really getting into the skin space, trying to make the skin look better, because when they do surgery, and if you're pulling, suturing, and cutting skin and tightening it up, that has like brown spots on it, large pores, texture irregularities, things like that, it's not going to look good. When patients have healthy, beautiful skin, and then they have surgery, or say they don't need surgery because they've been taking excellent care of their skin and being proactive with treatments and at-home procedures and at-home products that are going to stimulate your body's own regenerative processes to make collagen and elastin, that's the way of the future. So I think it was a really amazing talk, amazing talks and this amazing meeting. And I think I took some notes in my phone, and I'm going to do a whole YouTube video on it. But Ellacore is going to be huge. It's microcoring. It's when microneedling first came out, I was really excited, but the results have been pretty underwhelming, which is why I don't have a microneedling device. But microcoring is actually similar in that it's poking thousands of tiny little holes in the skin, but it's actually taking out that skin. So it's excising skin in a scarless manner, which is equivalent to having, like, when plastic surgeons do a facelift and they excise skin and they pull it, all that skin that would be removed is the same volume and surface area of skin that gets taken out by the Elicor, but the healing downtime is like 1 week, and it basically is tightening the skin by doing like a little facelift by skin excision, but doing it in a very scarless manner, which is really, really cool. And it's a very new device. I participated in the clinical trials, and it was amazing back then, and it's even better now. And I think they're going to probably develop hand pieces that can treat off face body surface areas like the chest, inner arms, abdomen, legs, above the knees. The technology is there, and I think that they're just going to fine tune it and perfect it. There was a lot of new devices for cellulite and for body contouring and for minimizing and eliminating fat. So that was really exciting. There's new technologies for a lot of like peels, a lot of talks on different chemical peels, especially phenol peels, which up to date we've been a little bit more hesitant to do as dermatologists, because phenol peels are very deep peels. And in the past, they've required like cardiac monitoring and just really intense anesthesia. But hearing a lot of talks about that and new technologies for like chemical peels, new lasers that are coming down the pipeline. There's like a ton of new lasers, some that have been recently launched this year, ones that have like very minimal downtime with really amazing results, ones that are engineered for younger patients who are more prejuvenation, not rejuvenation, but just prejuvenation and like preventative, no downtime, no pain, really cool technology. What else were we talking about? Nothing about fillers, which was kind of interesting, that I heard that was new and innovative, except for it wasn't discussed at this meeting, but just from other meetings that I've been to, there's going to be a lot of like biostimulatory combined with HA fillers coming down the pipeline, and fillers that are going to be improving the texture of the skin. But again, I feel like we're moving away from fillers and refocusing on skin and lasers and treatments in the office that can improve the texture and the quality of the skin. Because without good quality skin, I don't care how much surgery you have or if how healthy you are, it's still going to age you or make you look sick or older or tired or just not your very best. So I think it was really cool. And then hearing different scientists talk about different cosmeceuticals and skin actives, that's why I wanted to engineer my own skincare line, because I wanted to cut the middleman out of the skincare, production process. And like, I feel, as dermatologists, we know what active ingredients need to be in those skincare products. We know the vehicles, delivery systems that work. And sometimes when big industries take dermatologists and they take our knowledge from our brain that we get from years of education and attending meetings like this, and then they'll try to cut corners and modify to make it, less overhead, less expensive process, and the quality and integrity of the active ingredients and the formulation goes down. So I think that it was really interesting to hear about new actives that have new pathways to be unlocked in the skin to increase signal transduction cascades to stimulate rejuvenation in the skin from within, and being able to just send this information to my personal chemist who I work with very closely and just develop new products. I mean, that's just the most rewarding thing to me. So new actives in skincare, lasers, devices, all the things. And I saw, there was a lot of on like cellulite. So that was, I'll do a whole YouTube video on that too. My colleagues, most of these people are from the East Coast, a lot of people from Harvard, Mass General, Wellman Labs, and also from New York. So even though this conference is held in San Diego, you can see we're in the hotel room. San Diego is beautiful at night. But even though this conference is held in San Diego, most of my East Coast colleagues, all fellowship trained dermatologists, cosmetic dermatologists. And so that also brings me to kind of discuss the point of like, okay, what is fellowship trained? People throw around the term cosmetic dermatologist all the time, especially on YouTube, especially on social media. And what is a cosmetic dermatologist? Like, do you do one patient one Botox treatment a week and the rest are all medical derms, so you call yourself a cosmetic dermatologist. It's so hard to tell, but these are like the true fellowship trained cosmetic dermatologists. So these are people who completed ACGME fellowship training, which means the medical board has to approve thousands and thousands of logged in cases of every procedure done in cosmetic dermatology, every laser, erbium, CO2, Fraxel, tightening devices, ultrasound mediated, radiofrequency mediated, different dermatologic surgeries, all kinds of peels, medium, superficial, deep peels, all the cosmetic procedures that we perform, we have to be proctored and log in our cases. And after that 1 year fellowship, then you're considered a cosmetic dermatologist. I think there's some people that say that if more than 50% of your practice is cosmetics, and you can also claim cosmetic dermatologist, but it's hard to say. And I get asked that question a lot, like, hey, I live in this area, how do I find a qualified cosmetic derm in my area? That's one way to do it. But every single person here at this meeting was a cosmetic fellowship trained dermatologist, which made it really cool to hear these people speak and just exchange of ideas among real experts, which was really interesting and fascinating. So it was really cool to hear also other body contouring devices that are coming out for muscular hypertrophy, kind of like M-Sculpt. I have an M-Sculpt device, which I've been very happy with, gives amazing results, and kind of understanding even more how that mechanism of action works by recruiting your fast twitch muscle fibers, because when you are in the gym and you're exercising, you're only recruiting your slow twitch muscle fibers. And so when you do something like M-Sculpt with these electromagnetic pulses, the musculature, every muscle fiber, say I always do my booty, in your glutes, for example, gets recruited, and you get the super maximal contraction that you can't get alone in the gym. So when you do an M-Sculpt, just understanding how these devices really even work like to a really amazing level. Doing the fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fiber recruitment recruits all those muscle fibers and induces muscular hypertrophy, which is where the muscle cells grow and they get stronger. So when you do go to the gym, you just maximize your results even more. So they were talking about different protocols, because the way that we recommend M-Sculpt now is how the clinical trials ran, and that was doing 4 treatments within two weeks, and then your results last a year. But they're talking about maybe we can implement periods, 2 or 3 months after completing the 4 treatments to augment results even more. So just discussions with different protocols and algorithms and things like that were talked about at the meeting too. I feel like I'm forgetting things, but I took notes and I'll do a whole video on it. Okay, now I'm going to look at some of your questions really quick, but I know that we're going to have to be leaving pretty soon. Do you Eloquor? Oh, probably does Eloquor work well with Fraxel? So they were also talking about that too. I really think they were talking about that, and they were saying not to do Eloquor the same day as Fraxel or like Thermage or tightening device. But honestly, with Eloquor, you probably won't really need anything else for a while. But when you are going to combine Fraxel and Eloquor, they say to separate it by 30 days. So separate it for about a month. But it's just because it's so new. I think that they probably are just being very risk averse right now, but I'm sure down in the future, down the pipeline, they're going to be doing combination treatments using Eloquor as well. And the thing that I love Eloquor a lot for, and what I was the most impressed by, was perioral rhytids. So, those radiating lip lines, because even when you have surgery, if somebody's like totally pulled, you can't fix that with surgery. That's like a non-surgical problematic area that usually requires filler, but then people don't want to look too full there. Laser resurfacing and CO2 helps with those to a certain extent, but not like the Eloquor can fix those radiating lines. And that's where I was so impressed. I remember as a fellow just like really seeing amazing results after just 1 treatment. So do 3 of those if needed, and the results are really next level. And this is from the heart. Everything I talk about, I refuse to take paid sponsorships, and I'm never paid or sponsored by any company. So everything that I tell you guys about or I recommend is really what I feel is best at this given time. And tomorrow something else may come along, and I'd like to be able to have the freedom to recommend that instead. It was so funny because my fellowship director, Dr. Suzanne Kilmer, she and I were running around yesterday at the expo. They have this expo where they have all these different booths with different lasers and different devices and different skincare booths and things like that. And this lady pulled us both aside And she put this eye serum on Dr. Kilmore's eyes, and she's like, look it smoothed everything out, it's working, don't you see? And I'm like, I don't see results like at all. And Dr. Kilmore was like, I taught you well. Remember what I taught you? Don't never lie, cheat, steal. You can never be bought by a company. Don't say something works when it doesn't just because a company is asking you to. And I'm like, nope, it doesn't work. And this lady got so mad because I'm like, I don't see any improvement in the rhytids or the wrinkles. And Dr. Kilmore was like, I'm so proud of you. And she's like, she said she was being so funny. She's like, Ray Charles could see that and he doesn't have his vision. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say it works if it doesn't, so sorry about that. And she pulled me aside. She's like, I'm so proud of you, and you're no one's person. You can never be bought or sold by a company. Your integrity is everything, and your education is everything, and nobody can take that away from you, and nobody can buy that off of you. So I really stayed true to that. So Ellacor, I have no ties with that company. I did do the clinical trials for that device, but I really do think it works. I was very impressed back in 2018, and I'm still impressed by it, even more so now. I got to play with the device today. Okay, let me look at some of your other questions. Doctor, what is the difference between using your retinol and a prescription Retin-A? Could we use both? Yeah, you could use both. So mine is a retinol, which is a different vitamin A derivative than prescription strength Retin-A, which is tretinoin. So the difference is mine's microencapsulated in such a way to where it is safer and easier to use if you have sensitive skin. And you can actually use it morning and night because it's photostable, so it doesn't break down during daylight like tretinoin and some of the other vitamin A derivatives, and even retinols can. And so it's just different because it's just a vitamin A derivative. So you can once a week use a prescription strength tretinoin, but I would say on the days or nights that you do that, I wouldn't use my RxR retinol because that's in the same class. So you wouldn't want to be too redundant. So what I do is I use my MDR products all for morning and night, and then once a week I'll use my tretinoin. So that's how I do it, but if you have mature skin, I'd probably recommend that too. So it's just a little different. The tretinoin is going to be stronger, and not only is it stronger, it's just more irritating because it's not like microencapsulated and it doesn't have the vehicle delivery systems. That's not to say that the tretinoin isn't good. It's just a little bit more aggressive and not as cosmetically elegant. But tretinoin is a tried and true active ingredient that all dermatologists would recommend because there's overwhelming data and evidence supporting its health benefits for the skin. And somebody said, oh, can I carry your product in my setup? Yeah, definitely. We're now doing in-office wholesales too. So if I can have my wholesale accountant reach out to you, and I'll just take a look at this like later on and kind of point you in the right direction. So I do want to keep it medical. I do want to keep it in physician's offices, and a lot of my colleagues have been asking about that as well. We're still like this less than a year old, and it's a very boutique-y skin line, so we're a small but mighty team, but I'll put you in touch with the right people. Let me make sure I'm getting to everyone really quick. Okay, what does medical grade skincare actually mean? Is it just a marketing term? It is. So there's no real medical grade terminology. And it's funny because we discussed this at this meeting too. There's a lot of things that get thrown around on social media that aren't truly real words to use. But sometimes dermatologists, we have to incorporate and use that lingo too so that patients understand, because that's what they're Googling and that's what they're seeing online. But medical grade isn't really even a term. It's not like a term from the FDA, but a lot of people will use the term if it's medical grade, like if it's only physician's office dispense only, or if it's something that is a little bit stronger, that where if it's in the wrong hands or used incorrectly, it can also cause harm, like irritation, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So there has to be a doctor accountable to manage the treatment protocol. So for example, Skin Better Science, there's no real word that medical grade doesn't really mean anything, but Skin Better Science as a company is like medical grade. I don't know, now that they've been bought out by L'Oreal, that may change, but when you purchase it, you have to either get it at a doctor's office or like at a medical office, or if you buy it online, you have to put a physician to a physician's name in it who would be responsible for guiding you through the treatment protocol. Again, because if it's stronger, it can, cause harm. Like some of the ZO skin health products, Radical Night Repair, that's medical grade. If you use too much of that, like it can be very irritating. And so you shouldn't be able to just like, buy it and just misuse it and cause harm to your skin, because although these are really great active ingredients in these skincare products, if they're used inappropriately or in the wrong way, it could actually like harm your skin. So that's how I always kind of think of medical grade. You're not going to find medical grade like in Sephora or Ulta or Neiman Marcus. So no matter, even if they're expensive. So it's just kind of like, I feel like it's a higher caliber level of product. It just has the updated vehicle delivery systems and active ingredients. Okay, what else am I missing? How soon do you think your cleanser is going to be released? And somebody else asked the neck cream. So they were supposed to be launched a few weeks ago, but you know how OCD and type A I am about just making sure everything's perfect. We have packaging, and I wanted to just make sure we're running some assays and some last minute testing to make sure that the integrity of the product is maintained in the bottle. So the BioCleanse 5.5 is a 5.5 pH, and I put like my heart and soul into this product, and I can't wait for you guys to try it. But I wanted to make sure that it maintains a pH of 5.5, and also the neck serum too. We just want to make sure airtight chambers, nitrogen line, making sure that the assays and everything are just like perfect. We're also doing histological analysis of the products to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it's very best. So it's not quite ready yet. I have to just make sure that everything is perfect before it launches, but hopefully we're saying for both by the end of the year. You ready? Okay, so Justin's telling me that I need to go now. Hi, babe?
Yep.
So we're gonna go meet our friends for dinner really quick, and I'll do a whole YouTube video on things that I learned, take-home points from this conference, and just from the mouths of these experts, straight to you guys, and without anything in between, without any paid sponsorships, with an unbiased, just video with just me just kind of sharing this information with you guys. And I love that you love it. I love that you're huge skin nerds like I am, and I love that you love skin science as much as I do. All right, you guys, let me just wrap it up. I feel bad. How many questions did I not get to? I'll try to get back to you guys in the comments if I missed any of you guys. And why did Skin Better Science sell to L'Oreal? I don't know. It makes me so sad that they did, but you know what?
Everyone has their price.
What'd you say?
Everyone has their price.
He's a business guy, and I'm not a business person, obviously. I'm a woman of science. He's a man of business. Yeah, everybody has their price. So they did sell to L'Oreal, but I feel like, Alastin got bought out by Galderma. Skin Better was bought by L'Oreal, but, I'm actually really good friends with the president and the CEO of Skin Better Science, and they have assured me that it will not change the formulation or their integrity of their skin line. And I do believe them, but I really feel like having my own skincare line, MD Air, like I have something that's safe from that. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to worry about, I've already had offers to, buy me out or have someone else's hand in the process, and I will not. I'm going to stay true to that, and I just want to be able to engineer these skincare products for my patients and for me and for you without anybody interfering, and no big company trying to come overpower me and cut corners or change my formulation or do something that I don't have control over. So at least in my little bubble, in my little space, I have my products that I know I can give to my patients, and I want to think, and I hope, and I would like to think that I don't think that these skincare lines that have been bought out with bigger companies are going to let that happen, but you never know. So hopefully not. So let's not think positive thoughts. All right, you guys, hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll post a new YouTube video tomorrow morning. And make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell and share this video with anyone who loves skin as much as we do, and anyone who is interested in staying up to date and having the most innovative knowledge that's unbiased and unsponsored, and I stay true to that. Okay, Justin's gonna kill me. All right, love you guys. We'll see you soon.